All right, so first of all, we're going to talk about why we should express gratitude, why we should practice gratitude. And then we're going to jump into how I personally practice gratitude because everyone has different ways of expressing it and practicing it and incorporating it into their lives. So, one reason that I have probably 10 reasons why I like to use gratitude. So, first of all, it increases my vibe, makes me feel a lot happier, more satisfied with my life. It also increases your health, and your immunity. So that's a pretty good reason. And then on the other side, it decreases things like my anxiety. When I can really practice gratitude, it takes away from my anxiety as well as decreases expectations that I have for myself and others because I'm more focused on being thankful for what someone is doing instead of being focused on them doing more for me. So those are a few reasons. Also, practicing gratitude helps to improve relationships. So like for example, when I'm upset with my sister, I can feel a lot better about our relationship, and I'm able to kind of let go of the grudge that I have against her when I can focus on the things that I'm thankful for of my sister, because a lot of times she does things that I don't like, but also a lot of times she helps me out. And so I can choose to focus my attention on those things that she does that are not in alignment with what I want out of life, but I can also instead choose to focus on the things that my sister does that is actually helpful to me because she does both and I love her, and sometimes I don't like her, but I can always love her, and feeling gratitude for her helps me to love her, like remember that I love her, I guess, in times when I don't necessarily like her. It also kind of goes for myself as well. There's times that I don't like myself, and when I can focus on the gratitude, the thankfulness of what I do for myself, it helps me to accept and love myself more. Whereas if I focus on the things that I'm doing to hurt myself, because I do things that hurt myself as well, like maybe being lazy, not being productive, and if I focus on that, and I have many times before, and I'm sure I will again, probably tomorrow, focus for a little while on those things that bring me down, then I get in that lower vibe state, and it's bad for my health and immunity, and it brings me anxiety. But if I can stay focused on that gratitude, the things that I do for myself, knowing that I do so much to help myself and to help others in my life and to better myself, then that can help me to remember to accept myself, that I love myself. So, another thing that gratitude does for me is it grounds me. So, what I mean by grounding is it kind of takes me away from living in the past and focusing on my regrets, or living in the future and focusing on that anxiety that the future might bring. And instead, I can ground myself, be more in the present moment, and not focus so hard on all these other things, but rather be here now, focusing on this gratitude that I'm getting. For example, if someone sweeps my floor for me, I used to kind of just be like, thank you, and just, okay, now it's time to mop the floor. And instead, I can slow down, get away from that anxiety that's the future provoking that, now it's time to mop, and instead be more in the present and be like, oh, wow, thank you, that's awesome that you did that, and really hold on to that. I don't think thank you really is an incredible sign of gratitude, but just holding on to that and showing that gratitude, finding a way, finding how you can show that gratitude and really hold on to it and keep thinking about that gratitude. So, another thing, when I feel gratitude, when I'm keeping myself in the vibration of gratitude, is that I can see the good in the world a lot easier. So, kind of an optimistic perspective, but it keeps me focused on that good that I have in my life. It keeps me holding on to those things longer. Like for my previous example, I'd just kind of say thank you for sweeping the floor, and I'd kind of go on about the next job of mopping it without really embracing that gratitude, and that really takes me out of that anxiety mode of needing to hurry up and get finished and stay busy and move on with my agenda. Really helps me to see the good. It also helps me to see the abundance that I have in my life. When I'm focused on these things that I have to keep doing, keep going, I don't focus on the abundance that I already have, that I already possess, that it's already being done in my life. I focus more on going, continuing, staying busy, being productive. And that's good to be productive. But I also like to have times of non-productivity. Helps me to kind of integrate and relax myself, if that works for you. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that it also shows me the abundant love that I have in my life. So I can see the abundance in my life, like being thankful for things. I can see how many things I have to be thankful for. When I focus on that abundant or that gratitude, I can hold on to it more and feel it more, stay with it more, spend more of my moments in that gratitude instead of rushing on to the next task. And it really helps me to see that abundant love that is being given to me. So if someone sweeps my floor, or just picks up a package outside for me and brings it in, it's just a small gesture, but I can hold on to that place of that being thankful longer. And the more that I do it, the more I can see it, the more I can remember it. And that kind of goes on to how I practice how I practice gratitude in my life. So, how do I practice gratitude? I like to really thank myself. I like to thank myself, congratulate myself, celebrate myself. I like to feel that great feeling that I get when I am not taking myself for granted, when I am congratulating myself for things that I do. So I've been trying to find all kinds of things to congratulate myself for, and I know I still have more things that I can add to the list. But so one thing is the idea of like getting up in the morning or sleeping in and being lazy. So I actually like to congratulate myself for both of those. So if I sleep in, I'm thanking myself for being able to take time for myself, for not having to just rush into that go, go, go mindset. I can slow down, take a breath, relax, not worry so much about I have to get up, I have to get this stuff done. And so I'm thanking myself for sleeping in, and then also staying in bed if I just want to lay in bed and just do whatever for a little while. Thank myself for giving myself that time, for being able to find that time in my life to just relax and practice some gratitude and practice being lazy, because it's hard to be lazy sometimes. So I thank myself for that lazy time and sleeping in, but then I also thank myself for getting up in the morning, for those mornings when I can just jump right out of bed and just get to work on what I have to do, go brush my teeth, go shower, go take care of myself in the morning. And I thank myself for being able to get up in the morning. I thank myself for being able to go brush my teeth. And I thank myself for when I don't brush my teeth too. I thank myself for when I can shower, when I can find the time to be alone and have some peace and go take care of myself and clean my body, take care of my temple. I thank myself for those times. And just like I was saying, I thank myself for being lazy. So if I want to just go sit on the couch and not really do much, it's okay. I can do that, and I can be okay with that. I used to allow that time to make me feel bad about myself, to tell myself that I'm just being lazy and I can't do this to myself. It's hurting my life. And I have realized that I hurt myself. I sabotage myself when I am lazy and I'm not thankful for it. I feel so bad about myself for like the rest of the day for taking that half hour or 5 hours to be lazy. But now I can thank myself for it, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours or even the whole day. If I take a whole lazy day to myself, I don't beat myself up. I don't beat myself up over being lazy. And it is so freeing. It's so amazing being able to be lazy and be happy about it. I'm so yang and I need to be so yin sometimes. I need to slow down and relax myself because we all live super busy lives, and it's good to take some time to slow down. That's one reason that I really love my yin yoga. It really helps me to slow down, and life just doesn't make sense without it. And so that's another thing I thank myself for, some other way that I can practice gratitude. And when I practice this gratitude for myself, when I'm thanking myself for all these things, it really helps me remember in my day when I'm interacting with everyone else to thank them, to be in that same spirit of being thankful for them, and it helps me to not take them for granted so much. So another thing is, like, I thank myself for when I take the time to do my meditation, my yoga, or exercising. I always thank myself for that after I'm done. Namaste. Thank you for taking this time to do this to yourself, Amanda, to take time away from all my busy schedule and my work and my kids and my friends and just spend some time on myself, taking care of myself. And I really thank myself also when I can get my friends and family in on my yoga and exercising and sometimes meditation. So definitely thank yourself for those things. Those are some really big things. The second to last thing I want to say is your thoughts. Meditation has really helped me to see my thoughts and to know what I'm doing to myself in my life. So I like to replay the gratitude. So let's say someone cooked me a meal, and I could just say thank you, and I enjoy it while I'm eating it, and maybe for the rest of the evening, maybe. But instead, I really want to hold on to that and feel that gratitude. And another way I can do that is to replay that in my mind. So the next day, I'm thinking about eating or whatever, and I've trained myself to be able to be better at this. I'm not where I ultimately want to be with remembering this gratitude, but I can still accept and love myself regardless of not being there yet. And so I can remember that meal from yesterday that somebody made for me, and I can say to myself, or maybe to the other person too, but hey, thanks for making that meal for me. I am so thankful that I have someone in my life who will do this for me, so I don't have to cook and I can spend more time doing what I want to do. And of course, maybe the next day I'll end up cooking for them, and that gratitude just plays out even more. So I can be thankful that they cooked for me the other day, and that helps me to remember to be thankful that I can cook for them. So replaying that in my mind. I'm thankful that someone swept my floor. I'm thankful that somebody brought that package in for me. I'm so thankful I have people in my life who do this for me. And then the last way that I practice gratitude is to journal. And I fully endorse journaling. That is something that has really changed my life. So when I journal, I write down. I have a couple different journals. One of them is my thankful journal, my gratitude journal, if you will. And I write down what I'm thankful for. And sometimes it's just a few things, and sometimes I just go, and I'll write a whole page and a half or 2 pages on what I'm thankful for, things in my life I have that I'm thankful for. So when I'm writing it down, sometimes I just put it in my phone too if I don't have my pen and paper, but I write it down, and as I'm writing it, it helps me to organize my thoughts about what I'm thankful for. It helps me to get back into that vibe of being thankful. It helps me to really be able to see it more clearly, see exactly what I'm thankful for, so it's not so jumbled up in my head. Also, journaling helps me to go back and reread it, especially during times of lack, is what I like to call it, times when I don't feel super amazing. I can go through my journal and read about things. For example, when I'm upset with my sister, I can go look in my journal, and I don't do this every day or every time, but I can go back and look in my journal and see, oh wow, look at that. Just like 2 weeks ago, my little sister was helping me do all of these things. I mean, I know today she's not doing anything that I like. She's not helping me, and I don't feel super amazing about her. But just 2 weeks ago, she was there for me when I needed her. And so that also increases my thankfulness for her. So that wraps up what I had to say about gratitude. Thanks for listening. Peace.